Hi there, this is Patricia Fenty from patriciafenty.com, and today I'm going to show you part one on how to crochet this really pretty tote bag out of granny squares. And so in part one, we're going to construct the bag. In part two, we're going to do the lining and attach the handles. I just have them pinned on for now just so that you can see how that would look. So yeah, this is such a pretty little bag and simple to make. So let's get started. Now the materials you will need to make this bag is some lining material, some cotton fabric, about a half a yard or a half a meter, and then some strapping material. You'll need a yard and a half or a meter and a half, and this is about 1.25 inches wide. And then scissors, darning needle, and a crochet hook. And then you're going to need 27 granny squares. Now I'll put a link to the tutorial on how to crochet a basic granny square down below. And so what you want to do is make 27 granny squares with just 3 rounds in assorted colors. And I'll lay these out so you can see the color combinations that I'm using, but you can use any color. I'm using a number 4 worsted yarn. And for the bag, what you want to do is you want to use a pretty small crochet hook. I'm using a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook, which is a E4 in US. And what that does is it gives a really tight granny square. You want a tight square because it's going to be a bag. And also in the pattern tutorial, I mentioned that you can use either a chain 2 or chain 3 in the corner of your granny square. And for this project, you want to chain 2 in your corners. So that's what you'll need. And then you'll need a contrasting yarn, a yarn color that will correspond with your lining to crochet all the squares together. So of course you can do this in any color combination you like. So I'll lay out my first panel and show you how that looks. All right, so this is one of the panels of the bag. For each panel you'll need 9 squares in assorted colors, and as I say, you can use any color combination you like. You could do them all in one color or 2 or 3 colors, but you can follow what I'm doing here. I've used 9 different colors, but if you're going to use a variety of colors, just be mindful not to put 2 of the same colors together. Try to mix them up a bit. And then here's the layout for the other side, the way I laid out my squares. And then here are the squares for the sides of the bag and the bottom of the bag. So when I show you how to crochet these together, this will be one long strip, which will then attach to the front and back panel. Now we're going to join the granny squares together with a single crochet stitch. So starting on one of your panels, we're going to join these two, and these two. And then you'll repeat the same thing, joining these two, and these two. And then we'll come back and we'll do a seam on this edge here and this row here. But I'll show you that once we get there. So we'll start first by joining the first 2 granny squares. So you're just going to use your contrasting color. I'm using black, starting with a slip knot and your 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. You're going to take your first 2 granny squares and you're going to put the wrong sides together. And so the good side is facing out and the wrong side is facing in. And you'll always be working with that wrong side together. So you have 2 chain stitches in the corner. So you start with the chain stitch closest to the double crochet. And you put your hook into just the top posts. So you're picking up 1 post on each side and grab your yarn from behind, bring it through, flip your tail over. You now have 2 stitches on your hook, and bring it through and do your single crochet. So then you're going to single crochet all the way along, picking up the top posts of each square and do a single crochet. Some people do single crochet through both posts. You can do that. I just find it's a bit of a bulky finish, so I just pick up the top post only. So it's just single crocheting all the way along, and I'll just speed this up a little bit and just crocheting along. And this actually goes pretty quickly once you get going with it. So now we're just coming to the end of these squares. So if you've caught all your stitches properly, you'll come up to your corner and you'll go into that first chain 1 of the chain 2 of the corner, and you'll join just that one. Now when you are doing the panel, the outside panel, the strip, the 9 squares in a row, you'll just be joining it like this, and you'll cast off here. So that's how that would look, and you do 9 in a row like that. But we're going to carry on, enjoy the rest of this row here. So I'll show you how to do that. So you take your next 2 squares, wrong sides together, and you line them up as before. And then what you do is you join in that second chain 2. There's 2 chains in that corner, so you pick up the second one, the closest one to the double crochet of that set of 3 double crochets. It's a little bit awkward. Oh, have your yarn to the back. You want the yarn to be in behind. There we go. And so then bring your yarn through and do your single crochet. And then just carry on across, picking up just the top posts as before. Just doing the double crochet all the way along like that. And so you'll see how that's joining them together. So carry on and do that all the way along. And then join these 2 in the same way. And once you're done that, go ahead and join the 3rd row in the same way. And I'll see you when we get back from that. Welcome back. Here you can see how I've joined these 2 rows like that, and you should have these gaps that are not joined. So the next step is to crochet along in the other direction. The only sort of little tricky spot is going to be going over your intersection seam. So again, starting with your slip knot and bringing the wrong sides together, starting in the second chain stitch of your corner, and you're always starting in that second chain stitch of the corner. Flip your tail over and do a single crochet. So you'll carry that along. I'm going to speed that up here just so we can get to this intersection, so I can show you what to do in the intersection. So you want to catch all your stitches, and now this is the corner, the first chain of the chain 2 corner. You'll see that when you get there, so make sure to pick that up on this side. And now you're at the intersection, so you're just going to put your hook underneath 2 posts from that intersection row and do a single crochet there. Now you want to catch that second chain of your chain 2 corner. It might be a little bit tricky to see, but make sure you catch that and you do single crochet in there. And then you just do your single crochets all the way across. Oops. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it can be a little bit tricky to see, so just carry on and do that all the way along. And you'll see how nicely that's joining together and how you join your intersection. So go ahead and do that row and then join this piece. And then you can just darn in your tail ends and do that for the other panel. And then, as I mentioned earlier, you're going to your strip of 9 pieces and join them together, just the ends on the short edges there. So you'll do that strip as well. And then we're going to use that to join the 2 sides together. So go ahead and do that, and we'll see you when you're done. Welcome back. So here I have both panels all joined together. And I've blocked these panels by using a steamer to just steam the fabric and then sort of pull the seams up a bit so they're sort of up straight. And yours will be a little bit wonky around the edges, but that's okay because once it's all crocheted together, that will all even out. And I'll just show you here. Here's the strip, and of course, I haven't darned in the ends yet, but I haven't blocked this yet. So you could also just block the fabric by wetting it down and laying it on a towel and flattening it out. So go ahead and block your panels and darn in all your ends, and then we'll be ready to start assembling the bag. So we'll see you when we get back. All right, I forgot to mention that you'll need some safety pins or stitch markers to join the panels together. So you can pin the 2 together, starting at the bottom of your bag, and again, wrong sides together. And you want to pin your corners first, these outside corners first. And what this is going to look like is, actually, I'll just zoom in so you can see this a little better. So in each corner, you will have a chain stitch in the corner that hasn't been used. So you want to join that chain to the same one on the other side. You'll be crocheting those together. So put your marker in there and then do the same thing on the other side. You'll have the chain on the other side that you'll join together. So you will then have your seam, your joining seam in the middle. And when you're crocheting, what you're going to do is you'll do a single crochet into this stitch, and then you'll do a single crochet into the chain 2 space with the intersection, and then a single crochet to join those 2, and then you'll just carry on. So it's really quite easy to single crochet and join these together. When you come to one of these intersections and you've darned the ends there, you're going to want to pick up, oh, sorry, I'm off the screen here a little bit. You'll just pick up 1 stitch from each side of the intersection and do a single crochet in there. That might be a bit of a tight one to work into, but it'll work out. So I'll just zoom out again. So this is really quite simple. So you just start from the top side of your bag, and you'll be starting in that first chain stitch as you've been joining all along. So you'll start there and then just do your single crochets all the way around. doing your best to line up. You might get the on stitch that is out, but do your best to fit them in. It should all work out really well if you've stitched everything together properly. So go ahead and do your single crochet all the way around there, remembering to do that single crochet into the chain 2 space for the corner. So go ahead and do that. We'll see you when you're done. All right, here is the one side all done, and you can see how nicely that all joined together. So go ahead and repeat that for the other panel, joining your next panel on this side. But when you crochet all the round, don't fasten off at this end. Leave this yarn attached there because we're going to do a crochet border around the top. So go ahead and do that, and I'll see you when you're done. All right, so here we are. I've finished attaching this panel on, and I finished my single crochet row. So now I'm at the top of the bag. And what we're going to do is flip this around and do some rows of single crochet around the top to create a band that we can attach the handle to. So we have a nice secure place to attach the handle. And you'll be finishing up in that first chain 1 of the chain 2 corner. Normally you would do a chain 1 to start a new row of single crochet, but I'm going to do chain 2 because there's a bit of a dip there. So then you're just going to single crochet under 2 posts. You're going to be picking up 2 posts all the way around. So you're picking up that second chain in your chain 2 space to start. And then you're just going to carry on doing single crochets under both posts all the way around. And I'm just going to speed this up here a little bit and show you how we're going to catch the intersection. So you'll come to the end of the square here, and they should be one of those chain stitches in your corner. So you want to pick up that chain 2, or the second one of the chain 2, and then for the intersection, you just crochet right into the intersection with a single crochet, and then on the next side you'll have that second chain of the chain 2 space. That one can be a little bit tricky to find, so you want to make sure to pick that up. And then you just carry on crocheting all the way around. So you can do it all in one color. I don't have enough, so I'm going to do it in multiple colors. So I'll show you how we can join on a second color when we come back. So go ahead and do that row. Great. Here we are at the end of this first round. And so you just want to join on into the second chain of that first chain 2. Normally that would be into your first chain 1, but I did chain 2. So it's a bit of a tight stitch to get into, but going under both posts, and then join that with a slip stitch. There we go. Now at this point, if you wanted to carry on with the same color yarn, you would just chain 1 and carry on doing single crochet all the way around and do as many rows as you like. But I'm going to change colors, so I'll show you how you can do that. So just cut your end off, and I'm just going to take my new color, put it on my hook, bring that through your last stitch there, and snug up that black. And then I'll snug up this new color a little bit. And now I'm going to crochet the tails in as I go. You don't have to do this. So with a new color, chain 1. And then keeping the tails sort of underneath all your work there. Oh, I got these kind of tangled up here. There we go. So you keep your tails on top of your work, and then just do a single crochet. And again, picking up both posts, going underneath those tails. Again, you don't have to crochet in the tails. I like to do it. It just saves a little bit of work at the end. So then carry on and do another row. And I'm going to do 6 rows altogether. So we'll see you at the end. Welcome back. So here we go. The main bag is all constructed, and a total of 6 rows in different colors, finishing off with a black. And that band will work really nicely to attach the handle to. So there you go. That's the first part is all done. And in part 2, we will attach the handle and put the lining in. So we'll see you there. Thank you for joining me.